You're not tired. You're overloaded. And the worst part? You don't even notice it. Your mind never stops. Even when you're doing nothing, it still feels like something is running in the background, like your brain forgot how to be quiet. And slowly, that noise starts draining you. That's why you feel tired, not because of what you do, but because your mind never stops. You don't feel tired, you feel full. Not physically, mentally. Like your brain has too many tabs open and none of them are closing. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll, you consume. And before your day even starts, your mind is already exhausted. Not because you did too much, but because your brain never stopped. You're always thinking, always processing, always reacting. Even when you're doing nothing, your mind is still running. And that's the problem. You think you need rest. But what you actually need is silence. You think you're resting, but you're not. You're just switching inputs from stress to noise, from pressure to distraction. And your brain never gets silence. It never slows down. It never resets. You wake up tired, not because you worked too much, but because you never stopped consuming. Your mind isn't overloaded from effort. It's overloaded from stimulation. Constant, endless, uncontrolled. And the worst part? It feels normal. This is why you feel tired. Not from doing too much, but from never stopping. You replaced rest with distraction, silence with stimulation. And now, your brain doesn't know how to be still anymore. Even when you try to relax, you reach for something, anything, because being alone with your thoughts feels uncomfortable. You don't feel tired because your life is hard. You feel tired because your mind never stops running. Even when nothing is happening, something is always playing, a screen, a thought, a noise, and over time, this constant stimulation starts to drain you. Not physically, mentally, emotionally. You wake up tired, you sit down tired, you go to sleep, still tired. And the worst part? You think this is normal. You're not resting, you're escaping. And deep down, you already know that. Because real rest feels different. It feels quiet, it feels still. It feels uncomfortable at first. But what you're doing, it's not that. You don't open your phone because you're tired. You open it because you don't want to feel what's underneath. The silence, the pressure, the thoughts you keep avoiding. So you scroll, just for a minute, then another, then another. Not because you enjoy it, but because stopping feels worse, because the moment everything goes quiet, you're left alone with yourself. And that's the part you've been running from. Your brain learned this, slowly, quietly, without you even noticing. Every time you felt bored, you reached for something, a screen, a distraction, anything to fill the gap. And it worked. For a moment, it made everything easier. Less pressure, less thinking, less feeling. So your brain adapted. It started choosing the easy way every time, not because you're weak, but because it's efficient. Why sit in silence when you can escape it instantly? Why deal with discomfort when you can replace it in seconds? So now, the moment things get quiet, your mind reacts. It searches, it reaches, it escapes, not consciously, automatically. And over time, you didn't just lose focus, you lost your tolerance for being alone with your own mind. At some point, you notice it, the silence, not peace, just nothing. You didn't rest. You didn't move. You just existed. And deep down, you know, this isn't normal. This isn't life. This is escape. And the worst part, you call it rest. You tell yourself, I needed this. But you didn't rest. You escaped. There's a difference. Rest gives you energy. This takes it. You feel it in your body. Heavy, slow, unfocused, like something is missing, but you don't know what. So you go back to the same thing that drained you again. Not because it works, but because it's easy, because it's there, because it doesn't ask anything from you. No effort, no risk, no growth. And slowly, you get used to it. The silence, the numbness, the lack of progress. It starts to feel normal. And that's the real problem. You wake up, and it's the same feeling. Not tired from doing too much, but tired from doing nothing. Your body rested, but your mind didn't, because it never stopped running, just in the wrong direction. Scrolling, watching, consuming, but never building. And the more you do it, the harder it becomes to stop. Not because it's powerful, but because you got weaker, less focused, less disciplined, less present, until one day you look around and realize nothing changed. At some point, you stop, not because you want to, but because you feel it, that something is off. And for a second, you don't reach for your phone. You just sit there, and it's uncomfortable, because now there's nothing between you and your thoughts. No noise, no distraction, no escape, just you. And that's when it hits you. You weren't resting. You were avoiding. Avoiding effort, avoiding discomfort, avoiding responsibility. And the more you avoided it, the heavier everything became. Not because life is hard, but because you stopped moving. And now, you have a choice. Keep escaping, or finally face it. Not tomorrow, not later, now. So what do? You don't fix everything. You don't reinvent your life. You start small, smaller than you think. You sit up. You put the phone down. You stay there, just for a moment. No distraction, no noise, no escape. Just you. And it feels uncomfortable. Good. That's where it starts. Not motivation, not inspiration. Discipline. Doing what you said you would, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Because that's the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. Not a big change, just a real one. You don't need to win the whole day. You just need to stop losing this moment. That's where people get stuck. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel clear. But clarity doesn't come first. Action does. You put the phone down. You sit in the silence. You let the discomfort stay, and little by little, your mind starts changing. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped feeding the noise. That's how it starts. Quietly. Again and again. One real choice at a time. So no, you're not broken. You're overwhelmed, overstimulated, distracted for too long. And now, your mind doesn't know how to be still anymore. But that can change. Not all at once, not overnight, but it can. If you stop running, if you stop filling every second with noise, if you allow yourself to sit in the silence again, because that's where it is. Clarity, focus, control. Not in the distraction, but in what's left when it's gone. And the moment you choose to stay instead of escape, everything starts to change.